Most people think you need 200,000, 500,000, or $1 million in the bank to buy a franchise. That's not true. 50,000 is enough. I've been in franchising for 31 years, and since 2011, I've been helping people buy their first franchise for a living. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 4 funding plays I'd stat with 50,000 down and how to make that money last through year 1 so you don't blow it. Let's get into it. Usually when I'm working with people that want to go or lean towards a SBA, they definitely have a job, number one, they have good credit, and they're able to get that SBA. So it's kind of like buying a house as an analogy. So you put about 20% down. That's where that 50,000 comes from. You put it down towards the franchise and the SBA funds the rest. So steering a client away from an SBA, number one, is if they don't have a job. The SBA needs to see income. That's the most important thing. So I'd steer them away from any SBA loan if they do not have income and they're just looking to buy a franchise. Probably better options for them that we can lean them into in that current circumstance. Credit and business profile gets approved basically is your credit's got to be about 700 and above. As far as business profile, if you've never been in business before and you're doing some sort of 401k or IRA rollover, you're going to get an EIN number, and then you're really not going to have any business credit. So it's going to have to roll to your personal credit. So that's what it's going to be reflected on. SBA loans tend to take somewhere about 3 to 4 months. I've seen a little sooner, but not really. IRA or 401k rollover generally takes about 30 days to 40 days to roll that over. ROBS means rollover of business startup, basically. And it makes sense for a candidate who has money in an account, in my opinion, and take it out to start the business. It's the best way to fund the business without any penalties, taxes, or any interest. I really don't think the ROBS transfer is a wrong play, in my opinion. I mean, that money is making 5%, 4%, 7% I've seen, compared to what I've experienced in my own businesses. And the percentage that I make on the profit is way more than that. So in my opinion, it always makes sense. But people tend to get a little bit iffy on thinking they're going to lose all their money and leave it in the ROBS because it's a safer play. I don't believe that. Ideal candidate to use a ROBS transfer is somebody who's worked for 10, 20 years or so, and they've got a good amount of money in there, and they don't want to drain the whole thing. So you could take, let's say, if they have 400,000 in the ROBS, you could take 200,000 out to fund the business and put some money in there to pay yourself a salary for the first year. The trade-off most people don't see is they think that money comes out and they lose it completely once it goes into the business. And the mere fact and the reality is you're building an equity position for something that's saleable and something that you have owner discretionary income later on that will multiply whatever it was making in the ROBS. Home equity, you're going to be dealing with interest rates depending upon what they are. I would say a trap, if you're using home equity just substantially and you have no cash, I would probably throw a red flag there unless you absolutely had to do it and that's your only option. But I would throw a red flag there. Right scenario to leverage your house is definitely if you have cash in the bank, you have good credit, and you can get a home ec line of 150, 200,000, and you really don't need it, but you may want to tap into it later for some personal expenses, but not the whole thing. As far as I've had candidates who have limited liquidity and go to unsecured loan bundle type of thing, it's not hard money. It's not high financing money. It's kind of in the middle. You're going to spend a little bit more than a typical SBA, but I've had candidates in the past get up to $250,000 with $25,000, $35,000 in the bank because they had a great job, income coming in, and a credit score of, let's say, 800 or 750. That typically works because it's the only option for the candidate. And if they really want to change their life, to take action, to do something, to live life on their terms, it's a great option, I should say. So the unsecured stack option would be my last option. So if you have bad credit and you're trying to do something, you're going to have to do majority cash. A 401k or an IRA rollover would be fine because credit's not necessary. Then again, you're not going to be able to do unsecured, and you're probably not going to be able to do a home ec line or anything like that. Usually if I work with a candidate, I don't work with them unless they have a profile of 700 and above. If they have lower, they're going to have to deal with cash injection or an IRA or a 401k rollover. So in 6 to 12 months, if your credit score is down and you don't have the cash, there's 2 things you can do. You can either get cash from your family or loved ones and get it that way, or you try to do credit repair and get your score up to 700 or so. Quick thing before I keep going, if you want me to walk you through this for your situation, I'll do it for free. The link is in the description. Book a 30-minute call with me. The franchise companies pay my fee. You pay zero. I only make money when you find the right franchise, not when you just take a meeting. And you get 31 years of franchise experience on the other end of that call. Let's get back to it. $50,000 leveraged gets you into the service-based home services and emerging brand space. It does not get you into McDonald's. If you're open to brands that can scale and make real money without the $1 million entry, keep watching. Because here's the part that decides whether you actually make it through year one. Keeping your day job during the ramp-up phase is the move if you could have the time in the home services or service-based businesses, like 10 to 20 hours to put into that business. It is the move because you're going to be able to pay your personal expenses like you have been, and you're not going into the business to take that personal expenses out. 10 to 20 hours really is the ramp model if you're going to keep your job on a service-based business, and it even could be retail because you're going to have a manager on the retail side. But on service-based businesses, that 10 to 20 hours could be, doing something operational or making sure the technician is being managed type of thing, answering customer calls, things like that. You make the call to go full time when you see the cash flow coming in, obviously. Typically, at $1 million, if you're making a 6-figure earning at your current job. In service, on the low side, 20% that I've seen, and this is not speculating numbers for you because everything is different for each person, but if you're doing 20% on $1 million, that's $200,000. And if that's what you're doing, that's when you know that you can leave or pay yourself. The main reason people fail the first year in business, in my experience, is they take money out too soon to pay their personal expenses. If you have $50,000 and you've been thinking about franchise ownership for years and you keep putting it off, book a 30-minute call. You'll be talking to the guy who's been a franchisor twice and has 31 years in the game and has placed people in their first franchise since 2011. We'll figure out the right brand, the right funding stack, and the right plan for your situation. I'll see you on the call. The link is in the description.